for this version of it, I thought I would go back to some of the first songs. Two of these are the first songs I ever wrote. This first one I wrote when I was, I think, 17. My journey to music, you could say, was a journey that was interrupted for 35 years. I studied guitar, I studied flute as a teenager, and then was, without getting into specifics, I was surrounded by an unsupportive environment, you know. And so like a lot of people, I just got discouraged and dropped it. But then when I went back to pick it back up, when I turned 50, so that was it was about 30 years that I let it drop. I had my old notebooks, as we used to write actual notes and whatnot, and back in the day I had my notebook of staff paper, and most of it was, I was reading Lord of the Rings, I guess, so there's some Elven songs in there that are really awful, but there was a couple that were worth salvaging, and this is one of them. And the funny thing is I can actually kind of remember writing this. It's a heartbreak song. Now, I don't remember who I was heartbroken over. I suspect it was kind of a crush that just didn't, know I existed or whatever. I was not a big love affair. I didn't have any big love affairs when I was 16, 17. But I do remember I came up with the melody and then the first line, and then the rest of it just sort of fell into place. Although I'm not sure, I've never before or since written anything that was sort of country-ish or that was in 3/4 time. So I don't know why this I don't know why this ends up being like that, but there you are. All right, so it's called Never Coming Home. Clouds cross the moon now, these 3 nights past, and the songbirds been singing as if it were his last night on earth, and he seems to be singing to my ears alone. If I listen too closely, whispers of someone not at home, not alone, never coming home. I keep going through the motions of getting through the days, even when I can't see tomorrow. Through the haze of yesterday, my heart's just like a leaf in autumn, tumbling in the breeze. There's nothing to hold on to, and no one to please. Now he's not at home, not alone, never coming home. I become so accustomed to living here alone. No more do I listen for sounds of you sleeping here. Not at home, not alone, never coming home. Not at home, not alone, never coming home. And I should mention Kip on bass, who has come, and he's going to be available if anyone else would like a bass player for their set.
In the next hour or so.
Yeah, in the next hour or so.
Next one, Anya?
Okay, the next one is Looking for Heaven's Ghost.
Ooh.
That one's easy. It's the same 4 pattern throughout the whole entire thing.
That's going to throw me off.
So this one is called, I actually made it the title song for my first EP, which came out in 2020, Looking for Heaven's Ghost. All the songs, there's 5 songs on the EP, and they all kind of have that theme of, looking at the past in some way, sometimes with regret, sometimes not. So this song I actually wrote about my mother. I remember I wrote it, the words are kind of about someone who's grew up well, at least to me it was, someone who grew up in a different time and, is struggling with today. So that was my 17-year-old self passing judgment on my mother, I guess, back in the day. Although I did it in a very poetic way. That's one thing I noticed too about those older songs is that I used to write, like nowadays my writing is much more, I guess, direct, I would say. My lyrics are much more direct. They were sort of very poetic back then. I think because I didn't have a lot of life experience, so you know what I mean? Like now when I want to say something, I just say it, sort of thing, where before it was kind of, I had to make up some kind of big deal about it or something. I don't know. Interesting how things like that happen. All right, so this is, Looking for Heaven's Ghost. truth you will find. It keeps turning and twisting, and everybody's mind. Whoa, 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 whoa. Looking for heaven's ghost. Thank you. So yeah, my philosophical thoughts about my mother when I was 17. I think I actually showed it to her and she didn't, she just said, "Where do you get this from?" And walked away. And I was like, okay. Maybe it did wrong, maybe it didn't. And the last one I'm going to play for you is called Light of Day. It's also on my first EP. It's not, it was, I wrote it, I don't know, a few years ago. It's, and in this, when I wrote this, I actually came up with the opening, you'll hear it in a sec when I sing it, the opening line and the chords, and then it sat there for a couple of weeks, and I thought, what am I going to do with this, right? So then I finally figured out the words to it, and it all came at once. So, here we go. As if I was the same, and I couldn't hold the lies together, and the inside started to fall apart, and on the outside you could see me smile, but you couldn't see the confusion in my heart. And the truth collides with what burns inside, well, you just can't hide from the light of day. That day will come when you got to choose just one. Which side are you on in the light of day? I was raised on fairy tales and lies about a candy-coated world where everyone had an equal chance, but the truth is like a mirror image in reverse. I was left untethered and adrift, with no truth to tell and no try to be. If I listened to other voices, they could tell me a brand new history. When the truth collides with what burns inside, well, you just can't hide from the light of day. That day will come when you got to choose just one. Which side are you on in the light of day? Truth collides with what burns inside, well, you just can't hide from the light of day. That day will come when you got to choose just one. Which side are you on in the light of day? Which side are you on in the light of day? Which side are you on in the light of day? Thank you so much. That's all of my set.